From the top of Reddit, what's the creepiest experience in your life?
User KittyCatB writes, the time I woke up to find an intruder in my bedroom, standing beside my bed looking down at me. I chased him out and wasn't physically harmed, but the police were certain that, despite him taking a number of things, I was actually the real reason he broke in, and that waking up when I did saved me from rape or worse because it startled him.
User the 96 kHz writes, I opened my bedroom door one night to go and fill up my water bottle. At the other end of the corridor, I saw a strange shadowy silhouette a few feet tall, dark, and it felt like it was looking at me. I'm immediately alarmed, but just stare for a second until it starts moving straight towards me. I, at the time, a 20-year-old man, screamed like a little girl on a roller coaster when it began to run at me. Turns out my sister went outside to smoke and a random greyhound just showed up and let itself in. I'll always remember the bone-chilling pitter-patter of its creepy little paws.
User LowDef writes, when I was really little, between 2 and 3 judging by what house this took place in, I turned in my bed and saw my father laying in a plank position. He was balanced perfectly on top of the flimsy plastic safety rail. My father is a disabled veteran, and at the time he could barely walk without a cane, but he was just laying there, perfectly balanced, on an inch-thick plastic rail. His arms were rigid against his side, his eyes were open and staring up, and his mouth was gaping. I got freaked out, so I got out of bed, and his eyes shifted and looked at me, while the rest of him was completely still. I ran into my parents' room, where my father was asleep in bed. I'm convinced this was sleep paralysis at a young age. Several other events have happened throughout my life, and I still get hypnagogic auditory hallucinations when falling asleep each night.
User smallgirl_456 writes, a few years ago, I was home alone with my sister. I was 14, she was 13, and my parents and siblings went out for 6 hours. Me and my sister were sitting at the TV watching Dr. Phil and we hear a lock. All our doors were locked, so I was confused. I checked the house and found nothing. The next night I'm in my room walking around in booty shorts and a sports bra. I hear a click sound. I thought nothing of it and laid on my bed that faced the window and went on my phone. I hear another click. I put on a t-shirt and I go to my window and I slam on it. A guy with a fucking camera was hiding and he bolted. I screamed for my dad and he realized what happened and he went after the guy and the dude was caught. Turns out he had multiple pics of me over the course of 2 months of me sleeping, showering, and changing, along with multiple pics of other underage girls. So of course he got arrested. That was by far the creepiest experience. I'm 17 now and I still get a pit in my stomach when I tell the story and I always feel watched.
User robot_virgin writes, was visiting my parents with my husband. They live in the countryside and me and him decided to go for a walk at night, look at the stars and all that. It's maybe 11 p.m. So we walk for a bit, reach the top of a big hill and lean on a gate looking over a field. Pretty stars, moon out, no torches. We're there for maybe 5 minutes when I spot a man walking slowly across the field towards us. The guy doesn't have a torch, which seems super weird to me. Like, we didn't bring one, but we're walking along the roads and there's a bit of light from the moon. The only reason a man would be walking in the field would be if he was out checking his livestock, which you would definitely need a torch for. He's just slowly walking straight across the field at us and I can't think of any reason for him to be there. I ask my husband, do you see that guy? He says yes. I say, what's he doing? My husband says, I don't know, then shouts hello and waves at the guy. Why? Nothing. Doesn't slow down, doesn't wave, doesn't say anything. Just keeps walking straight towards us. Husband shouts hello again. No response again. I'm fucking terrified and assuming this dude is a lunatic and we need to run. And then the guy turns slightly to the side and is a horse. Turns out at a distance in the dark, the shape of a horse walking directly towards you looks exactly like the outline of a person.